What legacy do you want to create? You know, if legacy matters to you, then there must always be a strong emotional stake in the outcome of what it is you're pursuing. Gamers, stick around because in a minute, I'm going to walk you through it all. Okay, gamers, let's dive in here today with some questions. One of the reasons I love questions, Mother Teresa, I believe, once said that to live in the question is to provide more of an answer to you than just to get a direct answer in and of itself. Okay, so I want to take you deep into some questions today. Not too deep, but I want to take you into some questions today to kick things off. So here are some questions that I believe are worth your utmost consideration as we are moving through Rebel Investor Game together here during Season 2. Question 1, what do you want to achieve? Very simple question, but how many people actually take the time to sit down and put some mental energy behind that question? What do you want to achieve? What legacy do you want to create? You know, most people spend time thinking about their legacy on their deathbed. So I'm here to inspire you to start thinking about your legacy now because it really does matter. Next question, what do you want for yourself and your family? What do you want spiritually? What level of security do you seek? That's an important question, especially as an entrepreneur. Getting clear on the level of security that you're seeking. What level of income fulfillment do you want from your career? What interests do you wish that you could pursue? And what do you really want to do with the time that you've been allotted? Okay, so I started with those questions because those questions all drive to one thing. What's that one thing? What's the one thing? What do you think the one thing is that I'm driving at here? The one thing is this: getting clear on the vision that you have for your business. Okay, I love what Lily Tomlin once said. I'm sure this is going to connect with a lot of you. I know it really connected with me. Lily Tomlin once said this: all my life, I wanted to be somebody. Now I see I should have been more specific. Pretty profound, right? Now, why vision? Why are we taking an entire day inside of the Rebel Investor Game, which we've already made the argument that one of the reasons Rebel Investor Game is so powerful is because we are compressing time, which means we are laser focused on the day and the hour and the minute, which means time is the most valuable non-renewable resource we have to create big results in our business. So why would we take an entire day to talk about vision? Okay, here's why. Because when you're confronted with difficult or uncomfortable tasks, which, by the way, do you think you're going to be confronted with difficult and uncomfortable tasks as an entrepreneur? I mean, is that possible? Is that likely? Is that highly probable? Of course it is. So when you're confronted with difficult and uncomfortable tasks, the short-term costs of taking action, they can seem much greater oftentimes than the long-term benefits of obtaining the goal, right? We've all been there. You know you should be doing something, and maybe you're tired, maybe you're anxious, maybe you've got too much on your mind, maybe you're stressed, maybe you're frustrated. The short-term costs, which would be pushing through that tension, the short-term costs can seem much greater oftentimes than the long-term goal, right? The mind will say, well, you know what? Take a break. You deserve it. We'll get back to this tomorrow, right? And then tomorrow comes, and then something comes up tomorrow, and then it's like, we'll get back to it the next day. Okay, this is why vision is critical, because vision serves as what? What does vision serve? It serves as the strong emotional stake in the outcome. When you're in that tension, when that frustration is on the doorstep, it's sitting on your desk, and you know you should be working on a project or taking action or persevering through, the vision is the stake in the ground. It's the stake that you're tethered to, and it's holding you down in the storm of adversity. Okay, so here's big aha moment number 1 for today. I want you to write this down. You will always create things twice. First mentally, and then physically. And guess what? The biggest barrier to high performance is not the physical manifestation. It's not what we see with our eyes. It's not you wanting to see that awesome, dream car in the driveway. that proves to you have what it takes to be successful. Or maybe for you it's the dream house, or being able to take the dream vacation. Or for me, what I'm really valuing right now in my life isn't all the stuff, and I'm not here to be all high and mighty about not being attracted to stuff. I'm going to get my dream car here someday soon. But what I'm valuing most right now in my life is the opportunity to work from my house every single day and watch my daughter Vivian grow up and get to see all those moments, those new things that are literally happening on a daily basis, and not having to hear about them from my wife when I come home from work at night. Okay, that's what I'm really valuing. Okay, so it's important to understand the biggest barrier to high performance is not the physical manifestation, it's the mental creation. I call it the boardroom versus the game room phenomenon. You know, everybody wants to go into the game room. Why? Because the game room's fun. Who doesn't want to go into the game room? You want to go in, you want to start taking action, you want to get on the field. What's important to understand, though, is you got to spend the time in the boardroom. You got to get into the boardroom. Okay? It's vital you understand this fact. You will never, ever, ever outpace your mental models. Think about that. You will never outpace your mental models. If you are in a place in your business right now where you're frustrated, you're not achieving the goals that you want to achieve, it's because something is happening up here in your mental model of what it takes to be successful. And you have to understand you will never outpace your mental models, which means it's vital. It's beneficial to invest time in the boardroom before you go into the game room. See, when most people are frustrated and struggling, all they think about is, I got to take more action, I got to take different action, and they're just focused on action, action, action. And they're trying to outpace their mental model, and their mental model isn't working. So you got to go back into the boardroom. Okay? This is why vision is the first place you engage your thinking about what is possible for you. Right? Your personal vision ultimately is then going to create the emotional connection to daily actions that need to take place in your business to achieve the results that you want to achieve. It's the personal vision that's going to do that. Okay, so what kind of vision do you need? You need a big, big future picture as your vision. Why do you need this? It's because you will need to move through fear. You ever been confronted with fear? I was just talking to one of our team members yesterday, and she was saying, I got to face my giant, which I had to laugh about because my wife always says that. She always says, I got to face my giant today. Okay, so you ever move through fear in your business? You ever been confronted with uncertainty in your business? You ever been confronted with discomfort? This is why you need to have a big vision, okay? The personal vision, the big vision that you have for your business, it's going to create the passion. Okay, now what is passion? Passion is being willing to sacrifice for that which you love. Being willing to sacrifice for that which you love. What are you oftentimes having to sacrifice? Your comfort, right? You get in those moments of tension, you're anxious, you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you're confused. It's easy to just pull back to the comfort zone. Watching Netflix, completely unplugging and checking out of your business to go do something else. That's where passion comes in. Passion says, no, not on my watch. I'm going to sacrifice my comfort right now for that which I love, which is my vision. Okay? Very important. Passion plays a big role here. So if you ever feel like, if you ever catch yourself going, man, I'm just lacking passion in my business right now. You ever been there? If I had a nickel for every time a coaching client said, I'm just not passionate right now, I would be a rich, rich man. Okay, so if you ever catch yourself saying, I'm lacking passion, guess what? You don't have a crisis of passion. You have a crisis of vision. That's always the issue. Why? Because you can never outpace your mental model. That means you don't have the vision that's required to bring the passion. Okay? So, vision is going to then ultimately empower you to choose the uncomfortable actions over the comfortable ones. Right? And guess what? Most oftentimes, the important actions, the ones we need to be taking, are the uncomfortable actions? I mean, how many times do you create a to-do list for your day? And then you look at it, and the ones that you pick subconsciously, you kind of just default to the easier ones because there's some muscle that you've created in yourself where you feel good about checking things off. Like that's really the game that you've set up in your life, is to check things off. Not to create breakthroughs, not to create big giant steps forward, not to really create true results, but the result that a lot of us train ourselves to do is just to check things off, right? So we immediately go to the easiest thing on the list. Okay, so here's big aha moment number 2. The biggest thing you will have to sacrifice is what? I'm bringing this back in because this is the linchpin of a lot of this. The biggest thing you'll have to sacrifice is what? Big aha moment number 2 is comfort, okay? The secret is to value the important stuff above your comfort. You know, oftentimes what separates high performers, successful people, people who are achieving extraordinary results, the top 1%, as we like to say, you know what really separates them? It's not that they're that much smarter than everybody else. It's that they are willing to more consistently sacrifice their comfort. That's what it really comes down to. I've been around, over 20 multi-million-dollar producers now. And what I've recognized just being around them is, you know what, they're smart. I mean, they have skill. But what I've really recognized is, you know what really separates them from everyone else? They just take the action. Consistently take the action. Okay, so here's what you need to do, all right? If you've been paying attention since the start of Rebel Investor Game Season 2, which we started just a few days ago, then you know that poor execution is the biggest barrier to high performance. This is the argument, this is the core central argument that we're making here in Rebel Investor Game, is the reason more people aren't having success is because they lack execution ability. Their execution is poor, okay? So we're getting to this point in the season where we have to ask the question, okay, where do we start when it comes to execution? You know, Chris, I hear what you're saying about execution. I'm sold. You got me. Where do we start? Okay, here's where you start. You start by creating a compelling vision of the future that you value more than your own short-term discomfort. This is the starting point. This isn't one of the starting points. This isn't like a recommendation of a good place to start. This is the starting point. You create a compelling vision for the future that you value more. You value. It doesn't matter what I value. It doesn't matter what your spouse values or your friends. What you value. You're the one that's going to be in those quiet moments of adversity with yourself, and you're going to have to push through. You have to value the vision. It has to be so big that you value it more, that it creates the passion that you need, so that in those moments you say, I am willing to sacrifice for that which I love. Game on, let's run. Okay? So here's big aha moment number 3. Vision is going to create the emotional energy that's critical to inspire positive action. Now, if you've been with me for a while now, you're starting to pick up on some of the triggers of things that really create high performance, and one of them is your energy levels. Okay? Everything is energy. We are all energy. I believe energy is the linchpin to success, because energy, our feelings, are what drive our actions, right? If you've got low energy or negative energy, which would be low energy, how inspired are you going to be to take action? Not very inspired. If you're not inspired to take action, what are your results going to look like? Not very good. Okay? So big aha moment number 3, vision is going to create the emotional energy that's critical to inspire positive action. So when you're in the adversity, and you've got the big vision, the passion is there, the emotional energy is there, you can push through. You can keep going. You can persevere with positive emotional energy. Your vision will empower you to push through the discomfort of change. I'm asking you to trust in that and to believe in that. If you're someone who gets into these moments where, yeah, I face adversity and I'm just not able to push through, it's not because you're some weirdo or you're not as gifted as, say, I might be in my ability to push through. No, it has nothing to do with that. Your vision's not big enough. You gotta go back to your playbook, and you gotta look at your vision, and you gotta read it. And if you don't read that thing and it doesn't cause you to cry, it doesn't cause you to go, damn, let's freaking do this, your vision's not big enough. You gotta go back to the vision. That's the anchor. Okay, so let me give you some vision tips, because this is your execution step. Okay, this is This is where we're starting to lay the foundation. We're digging the hole to build the skyscraper, right? We're laying the foundation right now. Let me give you some tips on creating your vision. Number one, I want you to think about time horizons. Time horizons. Okay, I want you to think about long-term aspirations. Okay, long-term aspirations. Let's say 5 years or 5 years and out. I want you to just think about it. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by the idea of it. I want you to go on a prayer walk like I do, or go on just a walk. If you don't pray on your walk, just go on a walk or get into some quiet time. I mean, just think about it. Okay, don't put a lot of pressure on it. Don't strain about it. Get into positive emotional energy. Get excited about what your life looks like 5 to 10 years from now. Just let the energy, let the ideas just kind of bounce around. You're just having fun. Okay, long-term aspirations. Time horizon number one. Time horizon number two, midterm aspirations. About 3 years from now. Where do you want to be in 3 years? Okay? And then, where I want you to really put your mental energy, your focus, is over the course of the next 12 weeks of Rebel Investor Game. This is where I want you to put your energy. Okay, that's tip number one. Think about time horizons. Long-term aspirations, midterm aspirations, and then the 12 weeks. Okay, understand what we're doing here together is fractal in nature. If you were here with us yesterday, you understand when I say fractal in nature, what I mean is we are building from season to season to season. So if you're with us here for the first time, you may just be laying the foundation. And that's okay. That's normal. Don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to yourself. Okay? If you've been here with us in past seasons, you may be building floor 1 or floor 10 in your skyscraper. That's okay. So don't feel like you've got to go hit the home run or win the game here in the next 12 weeks. We're gonna have some home runs. We're gonna have some wins, but your vision may take longer than 90 days, than 12 weeks. Okay, that's okay. So that's number one, thinking time horizons. Tip number two, understand the best visions are big visions. When you create your vision and you read it, what's normal for most people is you read it and you're like, oh my gosh, am I really going to share that with people? I mean, look at my life now. If I share this with people, they're going to laugh at me. Look at the results I've been achieving so far, and then I'm going to share this? Yeah, right. Holy crap, that scares me. When that's how you feel, that's when you know you've created a big vision. And you also want it to excite you, of course, as well. You want to be excited about it. Right? Tip number 3, your vision will create your passion. Okay? So passion, again, is your energy source. You need that source of energy. It's going to sustain you and empower you through the change process. Right? Because you got to go through a change process. If your vision is big enough, then you've got to go through a change process. You're going to have to enter into what I call the valley of despair. It's those moments where it's dark, you're on the adventure, you're in the valley, you feel like you're alone, and you're starting to look over your shoulder like, you know what, maybe I should just go back to the Shire, right? If you're Frodo, maybe I should just go back to the Shire. It's a little too dark out here. It's a little too cold. I'm facing a little too much adversity. Okay, that's where passion wins the game in the valley of despair. Tip number 3. Tip number 4, your vision should make you uncomfortable. I just kind of alluded to this. I want to really hit on this again. It should really make you uncomfortable. Right? It should be big enough that you can't accomplish your vision today with what you know or what resources you have at your disposal. Okay? That's how big your vision should be. So don't let the resources or the knowledge that you have today block you from creating your big vision. Your vision might be, you know what? I'm going to be the best, the number one lead generation expert out there for, pick a niche, for home business owners. You might be thinking to yourself, what? How the heck is that going to happen? Perhaps, right? Part of my vision is I want to be the number one go-to Facebook Live show to inspire people and empower people to be a big light on the hill, right? Now, I'm up against some pretty good competition. Let's just go right to the top, and let's say Tony Robbins. Let's just go right. Let's just put it out there. If I want to make myself uncomfortable by just owning that in front of all of you, I know there's at least one person watching this going, that guy thinks he's going to beat Tony Robbins. Who is this guy? Man, Who is this guy? What does he eat for breakfast? Right? Your vision's got to be big, my friends. Got to be big. I've been doing this for 3 years. This show, in some capacity, for a little over 3 years now, 3.5 years. Am I anywhere close to passing Tony Robbins? If we're to be objective about it, probably not. Okay? But have I come a long way from 3.5 years ago when I started? Yeah, absolutely. If you've been with me for the last 3.5 years, I got to believe you probably would say, yeah, he's come a long way. Okay? Tip number 4. Tip number 5. Tip number 5. Okay? Ask yourself 2 questions when you're creating your vision. This is the practical. You're going to get your notebook out, and at the front of your notebook, you're going to put your vision in here, and you're going to ask yourself 2 questions. What do you want to achieve? It's a very simple question. I want to achieve, and then just brainstorm. Don't think about it too much. Whatever comes to you, just write it down. Well, you can come back later and you can refine it, and you can get it to that place where you're just like, yes, passion. Let's get up in the morning at 5 a.m. Let's stay up till midnight. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, but right now, you're in the brainstorming process. What do you want to achieve? Question number 1. Question number 2, what legacy do you want to create? It's an important question because what the legacy does is it gives you permission to dream out into the future. It gives me permission to say, yeah, I want to be known on the same level as Tony Robbins. That's my legacy. That's out in my legacy land, okay? But that's what's going to help fuel and create the passion that's going to get you through the discomfort. Again, what do you want to achieve? What legacy do you want to create? Now, some key vision areas you may consider. Obviously, business is one of them. We call that like your income vision area, your business. But you can think spiritual, relationships, family, lifestyle, health, and let's throw community in. Okay? Why do all of these play a role in your business? It's because we are all energy. Everything that's happening to you is affecting your energy. Your energy is ultimately what is so important for you to go into your business and create results. So does your spiritual life affect your energy levels? Absolutely. Do your relationships affect your energy levels? Absolutely. Does your family? Absolutely. Does the lifestyle that you're currently living, if it's not the lifestyle you want, affect your energy levels? Absolutely. Does your health affect your energy levels? Absolutely. Okay? So you can think about all of these things inside of the vision you're creating. You could just put down, my vision for spiritual is this, relationships is this, family, income, lifestyle, health, community. Now I know some of you just heard that and you thought, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. You know what? Yeah, it's a lot of work. Welcome to the real world, people. Welcome to the real world of high performance. It's a lot of work. You know what I'm going to do this weekend is I'm going to go to a coffee shop, probably Saturday morning, after this training tomorrow. I'm going to go to a coffee shop, and I'm going to sit down for who knows how long, a couple hours, 2, 3, 4 hours, and I'm going to just start getting to work. I'm going to get the brain sweat going. And then I'm going to put it down for a day. I'm going to come back probably Sunday morning, and I'm going to lock it in. That's all the time you need. Just lock it in. Remember, this is all fractal. This season is fractal. Don't get into perfectionist mindset. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I just locked this vision in. This is what I got to commit to for the rest of my life. No. That's self-sabotage. Go with what your intuition is telling you to go with, and we'll go with that for the next 12 weeks. Okay? Now, big aha moment number 4, and then we'll wrap things up here. Vision creates ownership. I'm convinced that if more people would just own their vision, would own their business, would own their life, just become an owner, like under the true definition of what it looks like to be an owner. If you would just own something with honor, that more people would have success. Vision creates that ownership. This is how important vision is. So you go out there, my friends, go out there, spend the time, spend the effort, spend the energy in your notebook, in your playbook, to create the vision. It matters, it matters, it matters, it matters. Okay? Those are my thoughts today, gamers. It's time to get into action to create that vision. Okay? I want to thank you for your trust. I want you to know I do not take it for granted. Now get out there today, be extraordinary in your thinking, be a liberator in your own life. Because remember, you can never outpace your mental models. You've got to get your mental models right so that you can go be a light to other people on the hill. And there are a lot of people that need that light. There are a lot of people in the valley right now on their adventure, and they're looking up and they're looking for the light. Don't sabotage yourself by saying, well, I'm in the valley too. I can't be a light. No, absolutely 100%. You are ready right now to be the light. Just make the decision. Go be the light. Go be the light, okay? And also, never forget, thanks for all the love. I love all of you, not in a weird way. I'm here for you. I'm in the trenches with you. I am shining my light bright with you, right alongside you, okay? I'll see you tomorrow for preseason training day 6 here inside of Rebel Investor Game. Until then, gamers, Rebel strong.